Good afternoon, everyone. Let's proceed our discussion to the about solid waste management. So, welcome to our group discussion about the case of solid waste management of Naga City. So, we discussed before the case about the Naga City. So, now we have already our final paper about the Naga City, the solid waste of Naga City. So, the introduction of the study of our case study about Naga City, about their solid waste management. Republic Act 9,003 of January 26, 2001 promotes National Research and Development Program for improved solid waste management and resource conservation techniques, more effective institutional agreement, and indigenous and improved methods of waste reduction, collection, separation, and recovery. However, waste management campaigns must begin with the dissemination of information to respect the public health and necessary proper management planning. The environmental of all the stakeholders such as the waste generators, waste processor, government and non-governmental organizations, and financial institutions is the key core for the sustainable waste management. Literature has proven that sound solid waste management system in every community can be associated with several factors. Support system from the grassroots, resources of the government, and the culture of information and dissemination. The absence of those factors is largely responsible for poor implementation of solid waste management in any community. So now, Ms. Icalie, any addition to our introduction of the study?
Yes, Miss Mandin. In addition to your discussion about introduction of our study, it is said that according to Bernard and Mildred 2015, solid waste management is a growing concern, and to effectively manage solid waste is a major challenge for any country. It remains inadequate in most of the cities and provinces of developing countries, where a significant portion of the population do not have access to a waste collection service, and only a fraction of the generated waste is collected.
Okay, in addition, Ms. Molina.
Yes, Miss Mandin. For me, in addition, management of solid waste in the Philippines has long been a responsibility of the local government units in the country since the enactment of Republic Act 9003, also known as the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2002. Yet, there are still cities and provinces that fail to comply with the mandate of the government regarding proper waste disposal.
Yes, that's good, Ms. Molina. How about Ms. Asinas? Any addition?
Yes, Ms. Mandin. I agree to what
Molina.
Ms. Ibalie and Ms. Molena said, because in my analysis, in Naga City, the Bicol River is said to be polluted, largely resulted from SWA, improper waste disposal of household, specifically warehouses are located near the river banks. Apart from that, poor drainage system in some areas during rainfall can make the low-lying communities of Naga City become flooded. Necessary intervention should be implemented to solve the problems for SWM before they will be varied by their own ways.
Yes, I think so, Miss Asinas. So I also write this in our introduction. How about Miss Duenya? Any suggestion?
Yes, Miss Mandin. In my point of view, there is a 10-year comprehensive development plan initiated government aim revitalize the river until 2020. The local government of Naga City has a 9-kilometer drainage system with some problems of on flooding. This adverse effect due to improper implementation of waste disposal is perceived as a perennial problem even by the national government.
Okay. Yes, that's true, Miss Dohenia. The barangays and LGUs are expected to play a major role in its implementation. But there was a major lapse in the awareness level of households, which led to poor waste management practices. So our observation to this help our groups realize the importance of information dissemination as a strategy for sustainable waste management. And now, what do you think the statement of the problem to this case study? Anyone? Miss Ibalie, Miss Molina, or Miss
Yes,
Duhenia?
Miss Mandin. I think the statement of the problem to this case that our group is going to come up with the potential solution to address the said problem are: how do the residents of Naga City receive the situation of waste disposal in their community? Second, what are the factors that contribute to the current state of the waste disposal in Naga City? Third, what are the possible measures that can be done to improve the situation of waste disposal in Naga City?
Any addition? So if there's none, so let's finalize this to our statement of the problem, to our case study paper. So I write already here the statement of the problem. So now, I think uh, let's proceed the objective of our case study. And I think this will be one, evaluated the effectiveness of the implementation of solid waste management system in Naga City in terms of information dissemination. Two, analyze the awareness of the household heads on the programs and its level of priority by LGUs. Three, also consider the effectiveness of solid waste programs in terms of information dissemination. And four, proposed solid waste intervention should also be considered. Results will provide guidance in identifying safe, effective, sustainable, and culturally acceptable waste management practices. What do you think of this proposed project of our case study, guys?
Yes, Miss Mandin, it's okay for me. How about the others? For me, it's okay.
For me, it's okay.
Okay for me. That's all right.
I agree. I agree.
So our objective is final. So now let's proceed. What method do you think are we going to use to this case study? Anyone?
Yes, Miss Mandin. For me, I think a quantitative method of research and descriptive evaluative is good to this study were employed in an attempt to assess the culture of information dissemination on SWM programs in selected barangays in Naga City for the year 2021. Specifically, it determined the level of awareness of the household heads of the programs on the proper waste management, assessed the level of priority of the barangay officials in the implementation of the waste management programs, and evaluate the effectiveness of its implementation in terms of information dissemination. Ms. Molina, any addition?
Yes, Miss Evalie, to think that the first part aimed to collect the profiles of the household respondents. The second part comprised several statements to assess the level of awareness on solid waste management program using the 5, 10, 20-point rating scale metrics. Respondents were asked to choose series of response like fully aware, moderately aware, slightly aware, and not aware. For the second portion, the question were focused on LGU's level of priority. Options were follows: not a priority, low priority, somewhat priority, moderate priority, and high priority. The third part of the questionnaire was focused on the effectiveness of solid waste programs in terms of information and dissemination. Options were highly effective, moderately effective, somewhat effective, slightly effective, not effective. Ms. Asenas, any additions?
Yes, Ms. Molina. In addition, I think the cluster sampling technique was utilized to facilitate the selection process. The respondents included in this study were 189 household heads of 9 selected barangays of Naga City. These were categorized as highly urbanized with 75 respondents from Dinaga, Financia, and San Francisco, moderately urbanized 30 like Concepcion, San Felipe, and Bagumbayan, and 46 respondents for Cararayan, Bacol, and Carolina, as low urbanized barangays in Naga City. To support the analysis and to compare information, interviews with key stakeholders like SWM office, officer, and task force were used to generate different ideas from them. They were conducted currently to validate quantitative research used as basis for generalization of study outcomes. Hence, mixed method of data collection was obtained.
Yes, I think review of related documents was also considered. Data gathered were statically interpreted using rating method. Any addition method? Anyone? So if there's none, let's write this as a final. Now, from the global perspective, the issue of waste management is becoming increasingly important. Given the increasing amount and diversifying content of waste, countries should seek out sustainable waste management options, which protect both local and global government.
Yes, in my point of view, in Naga City, it seems that when Bicol River overflows, the incidence of flooding occurs throughout the city, most especially the central business districts. These areas are extremely affected, and at the same time, the residents' lives are put at rest. And I think this caused by improper waste disposal. That's why specific approaches are therefore required for designing adequate waste management systems. According to SWM, SWM office, only 5 out of 27 barangays in Naga City have such functional materials recovery facility MD MRF.
Yes, Miss Dohenia, you're right. And to analyze the situation, I think this received mixed waste material for final sorting of the residual waste and transferred to a sanitary landfill.
Yes, Miss Mandin, you're right. Because some of 7 barangays have MRF, but with mechanical problems and 10 barangays lack space for establishing adequate MRF. Although the city government intends to install MRF equipment to some of the barangays, but until now, they failed to do. Failed to do. Even if this is in compliance with the provisions of Republic Act 9003 or the ecological standards, some residents complained from foul odor emanating from the city's garbage dump site.
These hazardous and contaminated airs from the garbage dump site create a obvious threat to human health. The development of SWM information dissemination in Naga City is just about establishing a routine data collection on waste.
What alternative solution or possible solution we are going to create to help this problem reduce and to stop the current way of improper waste disposal? Anyone?
I think awareness on solid waste management programs nowadays, little participation was manifested coming from sectors such as the LGUs. Other GOs, private and household, their awareness on solid waste management programs significantly contributes to its effectiveness. Also enhancing residents' solid waste management awareness was considered as the most effective method for its success. Solid waste management activities in the city and the provinces, such as prohibits burning garbage, waste segregation, MRF plastic for rice, sanitary landfill, no plastic policy, pira sa basura, wastewater treatment, and regular declogging revealed that the community was willing to take part in solid waste management programs. However, respondents have little knowledge and they were slightly aware of it.
Miss
Yes,
Evalie?
Miss Molina. Yes. Yes, Miss Molina. I think gaining public support can facilitate policy implementation. One of the problems faced by the city government is on how to disseminate the knowledge of the SWM programs at the grassroots level. The waste generators themselves have contributed big part to that particular problem, which is why they should be aware of it. And some solid waste management office initiated waste reduction programs were not sustained because of some political issues, attitudes, and lack of social acceptability among the residents.
Yes, and it must be there is a need of public awareness on solid waste management program and policies. For more active participation of community stress reduction and urgency for more strategic planning for the local LGUs and solid waste management task force stakeholders awareness campaigns at the grassroots level should be regularly implemented, taking into account their culture, attitudes, and beliefs.
Another possible solution is local government unit through solid waste management office should disseminate information at the grassroots level. Additionally, cost-saving waste reduction measures awareness campaigns should also be strictly implemented to industrial and commercial centers that highlight the current issues and future directions of solid waste management of the city. Surveys and interviews reflected that information dissemination for solid waste management has given low priority by the local government units. Although there have been efforts made through information campaigns, which is done year-round. But then, the strategies used by local authorities and the implementation of solid waste programs were not sustained. So, Ms. Meloina, do you have any alternative solution?
Yes, Ms. Mandin. I think one of the possible solution is recycling. Waste like bottles, papers, and plastic can be recycled instead of throwing it in corners of the street. It helped to convert the waste materials into products which can be reused of anyone living in the barangay. Example is a plastic bottle which they can use as a pot for the plants in the barangay.
Anything else, Ms. Dohinya? How about you? Do you have any addition?
Yes, Miss Mandin. Another one is having a compost pet in their own backyard. Residents can throw all their organic waste in the compost pet, which they can also use as a fertilizer after waiting for a several time of decomposing. Just like what other residents said, they're burning all the waste in their backyard instead of throwing it anywhere. That that caused by flooding.
That's good, Ms. Dohinya. Also, Ms. Ibalye, any addition?
Yes, residents can also separate biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. It is important to separate the two. Biodegradable can use as fertilizers, while the non-biodegradable can be recycled and can be used again. In short, the most effective solution of the problem are applying the three R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Proper knowledge is important in every resident for them to apply and to contribute properly in solving their waste disposal problem. That is why training and dissemination every month is a sustainable strategy towards zero waste by 2050. The researchers planned on putting three trash bins near the compost pit that separate plastic, glass, bottles, and cans that can easily identify and collect of the buyer junk shop, Miss Mandin.
Yes, Miss Ibali, that's very good alternative solution. Now, what recommendation we can write to our case analysis regarding to our study of solid waste management in Naga City? Anyone?
Well, for me, my recommendation is challenge for government authorities, whether it is in local or national unit, is to prepare a well-designed solid waste management plan incorporating issues in information dissemination with each stakeholders down to grassroots level. Aside from the common household practices such as burning of waste, burying some of them, and no proper segregation of solid waste, still households rely on garbage collection managed by the government. They believe that garbage collection and disposal is the responsibility of the government. Given the fact that the city government promotes reuse, recycle, and reduce, or the 3R technologies, focusing on zero waste, which is certainly part of its efficient information dissemination plan. Miss Asenas, any addition?
Yes, Miss Ibali. I think more comprehensive waste management plan will design strategies can be first phase. Strict implementation of some mandatory policies will enhance its sustainability. Its full implementation may require appropriate funding from LGUs, trainings, or seminars can be conducted at the grassroots level on the different solid waste programs. It is therefore suggested that the local unit should allocate funds for training and seminars with active participation of different stakeholders, but most importantly, the household. Miss Nandine?
Yes, I agree to your recommendation. To sum it up, supporting the West programs with other initiatives, evidently, the current waste management plans of the barangay do not fully address all the different cases of waste problems that are present. To be specific, the barangay fails to emphasize and address the root cause, which is discipline. More significant and comprehensive action are needed in this area, including not only holding meetings and seminars, but also in conducting recycling skills, development training, and waste bins building so that the larger number of the residents will be knowledgeable and have their own contribution for the environment. So that's the end of our case study discussion. Goodbye and good luck, everyone. Thank you.